What drama we have here! Allowed to play off, puts a shot away, and it's just another super goal.
I cannot believe what I have just seen.
Welcome back, everybody. Pitchside. England have won this one, 22 points to 6.
Electric out the blocks.
Have completed the greatest of comebacks. Callum looking for Godfrey. Callum got Godfrey. It's Stephen Godfrey. He's at the goal. Stephen Godfrey.
Your 2018 champions, the London Monarchs. Winners for 2018.
Boys, well done, boys. Let's give it up. Go on, lads.
Good afternoon, everyone at home, and welcome to the Year 7 Sports Day, our last sports day for the prep school side of the school. I hope that you are all able to experience what will be a fantastic afternoon of track and field events. I'll now pass over to Mr. Carter and our new commentator, Daisy White.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Thank you very much for tuning in to the Year 7 Sports Day. A very warm welcome. I'm delighted to welcome to the commentary booth Daisy White. Hello, Daisy.
Hello, sir.
How are you feeling?
I'm feeling quite good. I'm quite excited to watch it all on the telly.
Excellent. Now, obviously, we've had, this is the fourth sports day we've had. We've had lower school sports day, middle school sports day, and then Daisy, you had your Year 8 sports day on Saturday. How did that go?
It went quite well. I think we were all quite happy that we could have it on the Saturday, quite like normal, with the prize giving and everything, and it was very fun, as usual.
And was there any particular highlight for you? Any event you enjoyed the most?
I quite liked the 100-metre sprint because I won a certificate then. So.
Congratulations. I am in good company this afternoon. So just to give you a brief overview of the order of events for this afternoon, it's going to be slightly different because obviously we've got only one year group participating this afternoon. The Year 7s are going to start off with the field event, so they'll be scattered around the track to do javelin, long jump, high jump and the shot put. And then halfway through the afternoon, they will then change to the track where we will obviously be commentating throughout. Now the children have done the parade, the house parade across with the flags. Now the flag bearers today for the Britons were Anakin and Ellie. For the Normans, Lex and Caris. For the Saxons, we had Emmy and Jacob. And then for the Vikings, Amelia, Sammy and Hannah Buschel. So obviously we'll be commentating on the field events as we get going. And that, Daisy, looks like shot put to me.
Yes.
So we are looking there, and there's a bit of a wider shot. You can see the high jumps. As I say, we'll be moving around. We've got the high jump, the shot put, the long jump, and the javelin as well. So we'll be reporting on that as we get going. But as you can see there, Mr. Clark on your screen is just prepping the competitors for the high jump, making sure they all understand what they've got to do, and also the order of play for the high jump.
The children have all completed 75-metre hurdles and 800-metre time trials in their PE lessons, and the top 8 for 800-metre and 4 for hurdles. Boys and girls in each year group have qualified for the finals.
So the children competing in Division 1 for each event on the track, including field, will accumulate points towards the Victor and Victrix Ledurum final standings. And I know it sounds like a cliche, but every point accumulated during this event goes towards their house and really does make a massive difference. We've seen with lower school sports day and middle school sports day that there's, the victories have been equally shared amongst the houses, so this could really be the decider.
Yeah, usually there's not much in it, so always compete for your house. Even if you come last, you still get points.
Absolutely, and we've seen already at the sports day we've had not only the athletic ability of the pupils, but also the sportsmanship, the resilience, the determination on show. And you saw there on the screen there a nice handshake prior to the high jump between Zeke and Johnny Pryor of different houses, but both wishing each other all the best, which is great to see.
It's good that sportsmanship is promoted too.
Athletics is the winner today, Daisy. So who have we got here to go, do you think, Daisy? Oh, we're looking over there at the long jump, and there's a few girls just practicing their run-ups, testing out their strides to see how far back they're going to need to go. There's Mr. Evans and Mr. Davis, reliably looking at their notes. There's a lot of work that goes into organising. As Mr. Richards has done a fantastic job, not only organising one sports day, but having to do 4. So him and all the games department have done a really, really good job. And also the ground staff as well in organising or preparing the ground, the track, and all the field events as well. So thank you to those guys.
I think here we have some high jump.
Yeah, that looks like Ed Lazarus to me there. Clearing the bar nicely.
And some good dance moves from Rosie and Connie in the corner.
Always lifting the spirit with some dance moves. Oh, that was quite a high jump by Zeke.
Hopefully they can break a record today.
Yeah, we've already seen some high jump records broken over the previous sports days. So I know the middle school, Amelia Lynch, broke the school high jump record, and I think Charlie Coop on Saturday equalled the school record.
Yeah, it was very close. He had one more chance, and unfortunately he didn't make it over in the first go.
You know, both of those were really great events actually, and you know, you got a real sense of a buzz from the children all around watching, and obviously the excitement as they got nearer to breaking those records was immense, really. As he practicing those swings and his bouncing in his step. We've also got on the screen, obviously I've got Daisy helping me today in the commentary booth, but you can see on the screen there we've got some Year 8s helping us. So they'll be replacing the bar and moving it up and down as required and as instructed by Mr. Clark. And then other places across the field, we've got other Year 8s helping out with the other events as well. So a massive thank you to them.
There's also Sophia and John doing photography throughout the sports day.
It is quite blustery here, as you might be able to hear, but thankfully the rain has held off till now, so fingers crossed we get through the afternoon. Obviously, if we do get a bit of a downpour, the order of events may take a slight adjustment in that we might have to cancel the hurdles, but fingers crossed it remains dry and hopefully we can get through all the events. We look at Ellie Isles there, going on the long jump. So, any tips for the long jump, Daisy?
It's good to swing your body forward and make sure you don't put your hands back at the end, because otherwise they measure from where your hands are, and get very fast.
Top tips. Good tips, Daisy. And then you can see Mr. Brown there with his umbrella, which thankfully for the time being is shut. But Mr. Brown over there looking at the shot put as Michelle there. That's a decent throw.
Bit like Mary Poppins.
I won't tell him you said that, Daisy. Does he fly with his umbrella?
Maybe, but at the moment it's closed, so I don't think he's flying anywhere.
Maybe that's how he gets around the different events. Flora Wilson there on the long jump. Good jump. And Mr. Davis with the rake will be measuring and obviously making sure that the sand pit is in good working order for the next competitor.
That was quite a long jump, so that's good. Aim of long jump.
Good jump there for Rosie Dobbs of the Britons. Gets a round of applause from Oscar Wiseman, which is nice. And here comes Chelsea. Lots of smiling faces, which is good. A little dance from Rosie, celebratory dance. Isabel Hannah for the Saxons there on the long jump. And there you can see Sophia, the unofficial photographer, sat at the end of the sandpit, waiting to capture those moments so the children jump into the sandpit.
Here's Sienna running up and takes quite a big long jump. She just had a bit before the line, so maybe change her run up.
That was an excellent jump by Johnny for the Saxons. And now we're over to Javelin, Sammy Kirk. You can see there from the trees, the branches blowing in the wind. It is pretty gusty, which might affect their performance with the Javelin. But he's had a good attempt there, and as you can see, the year 8s, Stanley Williamson helping to retrieve the javelin safely before the next competitor has a go. What two field events did you do Saturday, Daisy?
I did long jump and shot put. And I didn't seem to do that well in long jump, but it was still very fun to participate. And I got quite close in shot put, but didn't come in the top 3.
But as you said earlier, it's all about participating for your house and accumulating those points. Can you remind me on Saturday, so just the year 8 sports day, which house came out on top? Can you remember?
I can't remember, but I know that Britain's didn't, which is the house I'm in. But also, on the participation topic, Mr. Clark ended up writing me a participation certificate, which I'm very proud of, so it is always about participating.
Is it on the fridge at home?
No, I think it's in my folder with certificates, but I should put it on the fridge.
That's a worthy place to have a certificate. Rosie Dobbs again there, gets a round of applause as she comes off the mat. So the high jump going pretty smoothly at the moment. I don't think the bar's been knocked off too many times.
No, not when it's been filmed so far. Oh.
Oh, I think that's the commentator's curse, that. I think we might have spoken too soon. Ariane now coming up for the long jump. And it's like a decent attempt. Thrusted those hips forward as you recommended, Daisy. Maybe she was listening.
Yeah.
It was a very springy leap, and you've got John Coveney there behind the mat. Again, he's another one of our photographers taking photos of the pupils as they leap over. Seb Dearsley there for the Vikings. And Christian now coming down the long jump track. Daniel Connolly for the Britons. That looked like quite a long throw for the javelin. Harry Irvin on the mat for the high jump. Clears it successfully. Gets a thumbs up from Oscar. Followed closely onto the mat by Johnny Pryor. They're zooming along on the high jump. There is actually on the screen the year 8 standing to the right of the mat is Charlie Coop, who has equalled the school record for the high jump. So current record holder, joint record holder, Connie Whale, unfortunately knocks the bar over as we move to Persephone Boyle on the long jump. Better jump from Chelsea. She clears the bar that time. So successful. And as you can see, over and out the javelin with Miss Robinson. And it is still pretty windy. To the left of your picture, you will see Hudson.
Oh yeah, Hudson the dog.
Ellie Isles again, leaping on the long jump.
I think they started measuring it, so it might be getting a bit competitive soon.
Oh, Connie Whale, a bit of a false start there. She's checked herself and she's going to go back and have another attempt. Flora Wilson there jumping into the long jump pit. Once again, thank you very much for watching at home. Obviously, we'd much rather you were here with us, but unfortunately, the way that the world's been over the past 18 months or so, we hope that this is a better compromise for you all to be able to enjoy the afternoon's athletics in store for you. Well, that was a big jump. The beauty of this, of course, is that people can tune in from all around the world, and we actually had, I think for the lower school sports day, people were tuning in from India to watch, Daisy. So you might go global today. You might become an international superstar overnight.
That's quite interesting. I could have a future in commentating.
Is that your aim for life after Handcross Park? Are you aiming to go in the commentary route, or what have you got planned?
Well, I wasn't until I was told I was commentating, but now I find it's quite fun, so potentially. But I was thinking of being like a lawyer or a fashion designer.
Lawyer, fashion designer, or a commentator?
Yeah.
No, that's good to have options, Daisy. Ed Lazarus again clear in the bar. As you can see, looks like a majority year 7 boys there getting prepped for the javelin, sharing techniques. Like some basketball techniques from Sammy Kurt there.
And Hudson cheering them on with Mrs. Davis.
And Hudson cheering more with Mrs. Davis, yeah.
And you can see they're all being very safe, and they wipe the javelins and sanitize them before everyone uses them.
Karis O'Brien. That was a good little jump into the pit there. Arthur Charland helping Mr. Davis. As we see Ezekiel, very acrobatic. Lands safely, so the high jump, I imagine, will keep going up. Commentator's curse again, Daisy.
Yeah, I think we might have jinxed it.
Jimmy, unfortunately, knocking the bar off then. But I'm sure he's going to get another chance. As Harry Irving approaches for the Normans. And here we see Audrey there. Skips into the pit and Arthur helping. And Johnny Pryor again clears the bar. Johnny Pryor going well so far on the high jump. How will the children be feeling, Daisy, at this stage? You know, sports day, will they be nervous? Will they be feeling excited? Is it, you know, I appreciate perhaps some will take it more seriously than others. Is it about enjoying the day with your friends?
Well, I think a lot of people will be quite excited because it's a very fun day, and even though you're in different houses and competing, you will end up joining in together and getting excited if someone breaks a record. So they might be quite excited and a little bit nervous.
Yeah, very good jump there for Jimmy on the high jump. Made up for his previous error, really knocked the bar off, but cleared that one nicely with good technique as Chelsea for the Saxons comes down. Oh, unlucky. She just knocks the bar off there. Miss Lorente cheering the pupils on, giving them an encouraging round of applause. I'm a bit worried about Mr. Davis on the tape measure. Can he count, Daisy?
Hopefully. He's got Xavier with him, and I think he's quite good at maths.
Ah,
so
that'll be all right
that'll
then.
All right.
That'll be all right then.
I think we've got Rosie Dobbs coming up for her high jump now. Or not.
And that's Emily Groves there. Emily Groves, a very good cricketer. I made the mistake of facing her bowling in one of the game sessions, and
yeah, she's very good.
I thought she was going to take my knees off. Rosie Dobbs now approaching the high jump. Oh, unfortunately just knocks the bar off there. And we're now over to Connie Whale on the long jump. Good jump by Connie. We've just been reliably informed that the high jump bar is currently sitting at 1 meter 10. 1 meter 10. And we'll obviously update you as it continues to move up, and obviously if any records are threatened to be broken, we'll bring you more information as we have it.
Yes. It's also quite good that there's Charlie and Oscar and Talia on the high jump, as they can give lots of good tips because they're all quite good at it.
Lex Duffy there for the Normans. Good jump for Lex. It's a good point about having those year 8s around, that their expertise as well able to show. I think it's really nice. You see on the screen there, everyone applauding each other. Zeke from the Vikings, Rosie from the Britons, both applauding Jimmy, and Harry Irvin from the Normans there clears it again. And yeah, it's a really nice sense of community and spirit. Everyone cheers each other on and wants each other to do well, which is nice. Johnny Pryor clearing that bar. And Connie Whale again with another attempt at the long jump. You might be able to hear on the microphones picking up some of the enthusiasm from some of the pupils as they cheer their classmates, which is nice.
Now we're at the shot put with Miss Seaton, and we've got
Chelsea there for the Saxons. She must have literally run from the high jump all the way up to the shot put and thrown in a space of about 2 minutes.
Very speedy.
Very speedy. Persephone Boyle there, that's a good jump. The long jump again. Xavier and Mr. Davis just measuring.
We're crossing our fingers Mr. Davis can count well.
Tom Dargan helping out on the shot put. And Jemima Alton.
And Sonia.
Rosie Dobbs again on the high jump. Arcs round. Ooh, that's unfortunate. Knocks the bar off that time round.
Looks quite difficult as well. It's very high.
I was thinking the wind might help blow them over the bar, but actually it might be, you know, affecting their run-up.
Yeah.
Ed Lazarus comes around now. Oh, and he's cleared it nicely there. Looks back to check that the bar's still on, and it is Ed. Well done. Seb Dearsley clearing the bar nicely.
With quite a leap.
Yes, the Vikings will be pleased. Zeke also clears it for the Vikings. He falls quite back, doesn't he? He's almost like he's going to land on his head.
Yeah. Well, everyone has their techniques and it makes them go quite high over the bar, so it must work.
Oh, the bar just knocked off there by Harry. And he looked disappointed with himself. He'll pick himself up off the mat. It's a good attempt. Laura Wilson. Good jump into the sandpit then. I can confirm feeling tiny specks of rain, Daisy.
Yeah, I can confirm that too. They've got 2 sightings of rain.
Fingers crossed it's just passing. Oh, Rosie Dobbs just knocking into the bar then, so that's knocked off there. There's a round of applause from Miss Lorente. Mr. Clark updating his result sheet.
Very close, but she's still got very high.
It's nice looking round actually as well. You know, not only have we got the game staff out running the events, but other school staff who aren't necessarily involved directly this afternoon have come out to support the pupils. So we've got Mrs. Davis, as we saw with Hudson, has come out to support them, and Mrs. Taylor's out there as well. So it's really nice that, you know, other members of staff have come out to cheer on the Year 7s as well, as we see Isabel Hannah leaping into the sandpit there for the Saxons.
And also, if you look around, you can see everyone cheering everyone else on, especially at the long jump with all the girls making sure that their friends get very long jumps.
Yeah, it's like a real collective effort. Sienna there. Oh, little hop and a skip, and tumbles forward into the sandpit.
Like a Handcross Park Kingdom.
Johnny just knocking the bar off then, and is that Johnny done? He's gone under the barrier. We'll have to wait and see whether that's him done for the high jump or whether he's got another attempt. Ed Lazarus going over to congratulate Johnny. They've shaken hands, which was nice to see.
Now we're over at the Javelin. Let's hope the wind doesn't affect it too much.
That was Ollie Salomon, I believe, there, throwing the Javelin. You can see the numbered markers put out by the Year 8 helpers there to show how far the boys have thrown. And they will obviously be checked at the end by, I think it's Miss Robertson who's over there today.
I think Arthur's got quite a good technique for raking the sand. Very professional.
He's been practicing on holiday. Unfortunate, Ed Lazarus just knocking the bar off there.
And at the high jump, we have Tilly Witham taking some unofficial photos now as well.
Oh, Seb Dearsley clearing it nicely. Briefly bouncing off the mat, and he's back onto his feet again. So much energy. Ollie kept talking about the power of youth, Daisy, which is obviously something I'm losing, but it's an abundance here this afternoon.
Yeah, that was one of his tips for me, to make it up, and the power of youth. Very good words of wisdom.
Of course, you're not making it up. You've been practicing your lines for the last week or so, Daisy.
Yes, definitely. Because I found out a few days ago I've been practicing the past week.
What a scholar. Here we go. So that looks like Kevin, and he's thrown there. Emily Groves, good jump there. Mr. Davis and Xavier will just measure there as we see Harry Irving come round for another attempt at the high jump. And he's knocked the bar off, unfortunately.
Looks slightly disappointed, but will pick himself back up and try again.
We're getting to the stage now on the high jump where actually the numbers are starting to starting to diminish slightly. People not quite making the new height. We've still got a few competitors in. And then you can see Johnny Pryor, who was on the high jump. He's now pacing or getting himself ready for the long jump. And Christian makes his way down the track, pumping those arms. And a big skip into the sandpit. You can hear the ripple of applause by his peers. Good jump there by Jimmy. Gets a good round of applause. He stays in the hunt for high jump glory. Oh, was very unlucky by Harry. Just knocked the bar, fell onto the mat, then rolled off the back. Good effort by Harry Irving.
It's very clever, all this camera equipment and the fact that we can stream it to you on YouTube. And it's quite funny how everyone's oblivious to the fact they're being filmed.
I think some of them are probably more, or know that they are being filmed more than others, actually. You see some of the dance moves.
Making sure they can show their moves off while being live streamed.
Good attempt by Seb Sheldon there. What about javelin? What tips for the javelin would you have, Daisy?
Well, honestly, I've never done javelin, but I know you're meant to get it quite far, so just try and chuck it quite far.
So throw it far. Throw the javelin far is your tip. Perfect.
Yeah.
There we go. So Ed Lazarus, just hesitates for a second and pulls out just before getting to the bar. So I think he'll come round again and have another attempt.
And I think he's allowed another attempt because he didn't touch the bar, so it doesn't count as a non-attempt.
Johnny Pryor now leaps into the sandpit on the long jump. So each of the pupils does 2 field events. So Johnny's obviously competed in the high jump. He's now on the long jump. As we see Seb Dearsley there clearing that bar nicely. So he remains in the competition.
That was a big leap from Azik.
Stephanie there jumping into the pit.
And we got Mr. Brown with his umbrella.
Oh, another excellent jump by Jimmy. Kept quite low, but managed to arc his body over the bar, which was great.
These year 7s are clearing it quite by a lot.
Ellie Isles comes down the track. Good jump there, as you say, observed by Mr. Brown. Do you think Mr. Brown's, watching the pupils jumping, or do you think he's checking Mr. Davis's accuracy with the measuring?
Well, I think it's meant to be watching the pupils jump, but might also just be keeping an eye on Mr. Davis's maths.
Yeah, wise. Ed Lazarus just knocking the bar off there, but it's a good attempt. He's performed well. Miss Robinson giving a few last-minute tips there to Sammy Kirk as he gets ready to have a javelin throw. You see in the background some normal games lessons were due on a Wednesday. You can see some girls' cricket there in the background, which is nice to see. House cricket, I believe.
Yeah, I think that's year 6 as well doing the house cricket.
So year 7 sports day this afternoon, but life carries on as usual for the rest of the prep school. As we see Flora Wilson there jump into the pit in the long jump. Oh, that's a good jump there, pumping those arms.
Very speedy.
Mr. Richards there walking on camera. Organiser of the, in fact, not just organiser of this event, he's organised 4 sports days, which is no mean feat. So I think, obviously given everything that's going on at the moment, to organise 4 events and ensure that all the pupils can compete in a sports day this year is a fantastic effort by Mr. Richards and all the game staff.
It's good that all the teachers are working so hard to try and make it feel as if it's returning back to normal.
Teachers always work hard, Daisy.
Yes. I hope they do.
Sienna there, another attempt into the long jump. And Mr. Davis and Arthur looks like he swapped with Xavier. helping Mr. Davis to the measure, and Mr. Evans there recording the results. And obviously they get taken to the scoring tent, and then those scores are processed and the points will be put towards the house totals at the end of the day. And then obviously the house totals from this sports day will be accumulated with the house totals of the other sports day, and we'll have an overall house winner of all 4 sports days. As Daniel Connolly, looks like a massive throw from the javelin there from Daniel Connolly. Gets a round of applause from Anakin and Seb Sheldon amongst others. A pat on the back from his Britain's housemate Anakin. Seb Dearsley, good jump, clears the bar on the high jump nicely. And Zeke, his Vikings teammate, also clears the bar. Lovely jump, good technique. So Zeke and Seb Dearsley remain in the competition. Gets Zeke a round of applause.
It's getting very high at this point, so I'm very impressed.
And here comes Jimmy. He clears it as well. So we've got a competition on our hands at the high jump. It looks like it's just those 3 boys left in the high jump at the moment. So we've got a Zeke, Jimmy and Seb Dearsley.
Seems like it's getting quite competitive at this point, but they're still patting each other on the back and cheering each other on.
I believe there'll be some presentations in a minute from Mr. Richards, and obviously when he starts talking on the microphone, we'll be quiet so you can enjoy his dulcet tones and can hear who's been presented with which certificate. As we see Louis there attempt a javelin throw, Stanley Williamson just going out to check it. Ariane Doherty come down the long jump track, falls forward, which is better than falling backwards in the pit.
Yes.
Enough energy to run back to her place as well. Power of youth.
And of course, yes, the power of youth.
Emily Groves coming down the track. Good little jump there. Sophia snapping away with her camera. So Hayan now with the javelin. The Britons runs up and launches it. His head on his hand, so it doesn't look like he's too pleased with himself for that one. And I think
There's Ralph Burkby giving some tips on how to throw it, sanitizing the pole after. I think that was just a no jump, which is very unlucky.
Okay, we're now going live to Mr. Richards.
Our field events as we start to get the results. So for the girls' high jump, in 3rd place, we have Connie Whale. In 2nd place, Chelsea Sun. And in 1st place, Rosie Dobbs.
There'll be more presentations throughout the afternoon, and obviously we'll hand over to Mr. Richards at those points. Okay, so the high jump still looks like we've got those 3 boys remaining. We've got Jimmy and Zeke and Seb Dearsley, as Jimmy just knocks the bar off there. Talia and Charlie help put the bar back up again. I think it will be Zeke who has an attempt now. Mr. Brown watching on again. The umbrella remains down. I think that rain's past, Daisy. I don't want to speak too soon.
Yeah, because we might have the commentator's curse.
We may well do, but Seb Dearsley clears there for the Vikings. So Jimmy and Norman, and then Zeke and Seb, 2 Vikings. So we've got 2 Vikings and a Norman left in the high jump, but Jimmy's just knocked the bar off again there, so I'm not sure if that was his final attempt or if he's got one more. We'll have to wait and see. Seb and Zeke go over to congratulate each other. Pat on the back there from Seb, which is nice. Good sportsmanship. Jimmy now coming up to what must be his third attempt on the high jump, and just knocks it off, unfortunately, but he's had a very good effort this afternoon, Jimmy, so he can be very proud of himself.
It's impressive that he's got that high as well. That's an achievement in itself.
It is, and actually the fact that he's finished third in that competition will pick up valuable points for his house, and Zeke rushing over to congratulate him as well, which is nice. Good sportsmanship on show. Some new shot put competitors there. Obviously Harry Irving, who was on the high jump earlier, has gone over to the shot put arena. I'm going to call it an arena, Daisy. He's gone to the shot put arena to participate. You see Jemima Alton in the background there, just giving some last minute hints and tips to the pupils.
Johnny Pryor running up here and jumping quite long, but I think that may have been a no jump.
Can you explain to the viewers at home why might that have been a no jump, Daisy?
So the whiteboard next to the sand pit, if you go past that, then it's a no jump. So now at the high jump, the boys are getting up to 1.30 meters.
Seb Dearsley cleared that nicely as well, so 1.30 meters, he's just cleared that. So Zeke will now get a chance to try and match that as well. So 1.30 meters the high jump currently is, and we've got two competitors left in that as Ben Smith powers down the long jump track, and as Zeke comes up.
Shall we find out what the record is for the high jump?
We should. Well, let's find out what the record is, and we will we'll get back to you. Ollie Salomon comes across for the long jump, has a look back to check how well he's done. Xavier rakes it up, rakes the sand up. And then Ollie Salomon for the Normans jogs back for another attempt at the long jump over there. Ollie Winterton. Good leap by Ollie. Ollie was my co-commentator for 2 of the previous sports days. Did a fantastic job, but he's obviously competing today. It's quite hard to commentate and compete at the same time, Daisy.
Yeah, that's why I think I've taken over, but it's going to be hard to be as good as him. He was very good at commentating.
You're doing a very good job, Daisy.
Thank you.
The bar knocked off there by Seb Dearsley with the high jump. So let's see if Zeke can manage to clear it. So Zeke starts his curve. Oh, just nudged the bar off. You can see his disappointment on his face there. I think him and Seb will be able to have another attempt at that. Seb Dearsley now has another attempt at that bar, 1.30 meters. Oh, just checks himself, just checks his run up, and he'll have another attempt at that. Just composing himself and heading back to start his run up again. And Zeke has had a go. Meanwhile, as Seb was walking back, and Zeke has managed to clear the bar. So Zeke has just cleared 1.30 meters on the high jump. Fantastic. Well done, Zeke. And Seb now coming up to see if he can match that. Oh, not quite. And he's actually caught himself on the bar there. I think he'll be okay. We're fortunate enough to have lots of members of staff around to make sure he's all right. And we've got Sass in the medical tent who will also assess him if needs be. But I think, knowing Seb, he'll be all right. As we see Jacob Spears there on the long jump, diving into the sand pit. Not diving literally, that would look a bit silly, wouldn't it, Daisy?
Yeah, I also think it would hurt quite a lot if you dive straight into sand.
So Louis now stepping up on the long jump. Well, Harry Irving going to throw with a shot put. That's a very good attempt by Harry Irving.
In the shot put arena.
In the shot put arena. And now we're back at the high jump. You can see a little bit of a delay as they just check Seb's all right. As you can see, he's on his feet. I think he just caught his ankle on the bar. Oh, sorry, on the pole as he was attempting that jump. But he's okay, he's walking off now. So all okay. And Harry Irvine again with the shot put, arm swinging. That looked like, oof, looked like it was pretty similar distance to his last attempt. Ayan here going down the long jump track. Good leap into the sandpit.
I think
Mr. Richards given some tips there.
Arthur and Xavier have switched again, so Arthur's back on the raking.
Ooh, story time with Hudson.
Hudson's a great companion.
Ben Smith, good leap into the long jump sandpit there. He walks back as Zeke trots over, so I presume he's going to have an attempt now at the higher bar, so maybe that was Seb's final attempt. Well, then Mr. Clark is looking over. Ollie Winston, good jump, brought his knees up high then. It was the winning house lunch, wasn't it, for house points total today?
Yeah, it was Saxons at 12 o'clock.
Yeah, Saxons had the winning house point lunch today, so congratulations to Saxons on their triumph. And obviously, you know, there'll be a new house champion perhaps when all the sports day totals have been added together and accumulated.
And I don't know what they got, but usually it's quite a good thing when you get house lunch, is you get lunch at 12 o'clock, which is always a pro.
I can confirm they had pizza.
Oh yes, you're a Saxon, aren't you?
Yes, I am. It was a brilliant pre-commentating meal.
Yeah, to fill you up for this good afternoon of talking.
Kevin there's good attempt, and Mrs. Seaton just putting the marker in so that she can remember where he's thrown. Jemima Alton just giving some tips as well. High five there from Daniel and Harry. Mr. Clark going over, having a chat with some of them. Kevin on the shot put. It's a good attempt by Kevin. Rolling those shoulders. A good leap there by Ollie Salomon. Brought his knees up, propelled himself through the air. Mr. Davis just measuring his jump as well. And who's that striding out? It looks like Seb Sheldon heading down. And Jimmy, it looks like he's going to be next on the long jump. So Jimmy, who was pretty successful in the high jump, is now going to have an attempt at the long jump as he heads down the track. Oh, just to either checked himself there, or maybe it's just a practice run to see how many strides he needs. And there the year 8s, just waiting for the next high jumper. I think Charlie jumped higher than that when he equalled the record on Saturday.
Yeah, hopefully.
These look like practice jumps to me, Daisy. They're not measuring these ones. I think they must have just come over from another event.
Yeah. And Bieber's on the measuring now as well, so she can help Mr. Davis with his math.
So after all the field events, there'll be some presentations for the certificates for those podium finishes on the field event, and then we'll move over to the track events, which should be exciting if the other sports days are anything to go by. So Seb Sheldon now on the long jump, checks his run up, starts off down the track, and that is a competitive jump. So Mr. Davis and Bieber are now measuring that jump, and Seb heads back to the start of the long jump.
While picking up a leaf of some sort, I think.
Lucky leaf, maybe.
Yeah.
Lex Duffy powers forward. Quite close looking at the markers. Oh, Seb Dearsley was back in his fit. He was obviously managed to overcome that slight knock on his ankle and had another go for his final attempt. He's knocked the bar off, but a very valiant effort from Seb. Good show of perseverance and determination to soldier on despite knocking his ankle on the pole there on his previous attempt. And Zeke gives him a round of applause. It's been a good competition between those two.
Yeah, but also very good sportsmanship still, as they always clapping each other and making sure that each other's always all right.
Well, Seb actually having another go now. He arcs round. Oh, and he's cleared it. What a jump. And actually there's a loud ripple of applause from people of all houses who've gathered near the high jump to see him. So they were really good, as we said earlier. Good perseverance and determination from Seb. He's finally cleared that jump, which is brilliant to see. And now Zeke will have a go on the high jump, rubbing his hands together in anticipation. Well, the bar's just come off, so he'll have to wait a little bit whilst the year 8s put the bar back on again. We see Ben Smith leap into the pit just in front of Mr. Brown. Christian going to have a go on the shot put. Am I right in thinking you're a Briton, Daisy?
Yeah.
But obviously you're gonna stay neutral for this commentary, aren't you?
For this commentary I will, but secretly, Britons are the best.
Oof.
I mean, it's alliteration, so yeah. And as you're an English teacher, alliteration's good, so obviously means Britain's the best.
This is true. As we see Seb Dearsley come up. Oh, he's cleared it. Excellent by Seb Dearsley. Who's cleared the new height. He'll be pleased with himself.
He really leaps over the bar as well.
Like a salmon.
Yeah, like a salmon, definitely.
So actually, the record for the high jump is a very long-standing record. It was actually set in 1988, Daisy, at 1.52 meters. So particularly high, but it's been held for a number of years.
That is quite a long time ago. That's in the 80s.
That is in the 80s. You're right.
Sorry, that was quite a shocked voice. That's a long time ago.
Not that long ago, Daisy.
It's 33 years, if my math is correct. Hopefully it's correct.
That's very good maths. Who's your teacher?
I've had quite a lot of teachers, but this year mostly Miss Hunter, but also a bit of Miss Dunn.
I'm sure they'll be chuffed at that quick maths displayed there. As Anakin gets ready, and that's Ollie Salomon leaping into the long jump. Anakin also, he's looking to get into a low body position, ready to uncoil and spring himself up, and that's a very good attempt. I think looking at the markers, it looks like he might be pushing towards the furthest throw there, but obviously it depends on where it first lands and not where it ends up after it's rolled a bit. So Tom will obviously adjudicate. Louis bounding down the track there, gets a high five from Xavier as he gets out the pit. Seb and Zeke just getting some... You can see Seb's got a nice pack there on his ankle, but he's obviously all right because he's cleared 2 more jumps since knocking his ankle as Hayen comes down the track for the Britons on the long jump.
Very impressive that Seb's powered on through even with an injury.
Yeah, excellent perseverance. And Daisy, in good news, the sun's come out.
Yeah, it's quite nice now because it's not too hot. It's just perfect temperature.
It does feel quite autumnal today. I feel more like we should be at a rugby fixture as opposed to a sunny athletics day.
Yeah, it's going to be autumn before we've had summer. I mean, summer's going to go quite quickly then, but we've only got a few days left of school, then we can relax on our summer holidays and hopefully it'll be nice and hot.
Fingers crossed. Okay, Zeke looks to start his run up for his next high jump attempt. The bar's getting pretty high there as we see another attempt at the shot put. Mrs. Seaton making sure all the records are intact. And Ollie Winston, that's a good jump on the long jump. And Zeke now starts his run up on the high jump. And he's cleared it and the bar stayed up. And Zeke has sprinted off that mat. Round of applause for himself. He looks chuffed, which is fantastic. No, it's an excellent jump. Did knock the bar, but the bar managed to stay on.
Quite pleased with himself that he sprinted off the mat.
Bounded off, didn't he?
Yeah.
And is Seb going to have another go here? Bit of a battle between those two as Jimmy has an attempt on the long jump.
It's getting quite tense.
It is very tense. As Seb sets off, he's arcing around on the high jump. He just checks himself. He'll come back again. So the high jump getting very competitive. Lex and Johnny just giving Seb a bit of a pep talk before he sets off again. So a Norman and a Saxon giving a Viking a pep talk before Seb sets off on the arc.
And in the shot put arena, we have John taking some more photos.
And Seb, unfortunately, just knocked the bar off on that attempt. A very good effort. So here comes Seb Sheldon down the long jump track. Leaps into the sandpit. Looks back. There we go, Seb. Just shaking hands with Lex and Johnny, which is nice. So 3 of the houses there, all working in harmony.
Yes,
We're
very
a
sweet.
Kind school.
Yeah, kind school.
Daniel Connolly just practicing his technique. Oh, that was a big throw by Daniel Connolly. Mr. Clark just checking the bar is where it needs to be. Zeke has hands on his head in anticipation, ready to start his jump.
Stretching to make sure he doesn't injure himself. Very smart idea.
Mr. Clark just adjusting the bar. There's quite a crowd gathering by the high jump now, so Zeke's got a bit of an audience. I think it looks like the majority of competitors for the long jump have finished. So they've headed over to see Zeke as he starts his run up on this new height. Oh, hits the bar and it just knocks it off. So he's slightly disappointed, but he's done really well, Zeke. Charlie Coop, so he equalled the school record for his age group on Saturday, Charlie Coop. He's given Zeke some tips there on what he can or shouldn't be doing as well. So let's see if that pays off for Zeke. Oh, that's unlucky, Zeke.
Very close though.
He's very close.
It's just the slight knock of the bar will tip it off.
Back over the shot put arena. Ed Lazarus having a go.
With the power of youth, he can thrust it in the air.
Attempt at the javelin there by Emily Groves. The Morehouse cricket in the background there. Encouraging pat on the back from Seb to his housemate Zeke. Housemate as in they were in the same house, not that they live together.
Yeah.
Oh, that's unfortunate from Zeke. He's had a really good effort this afternoon. He's done really well. Just couldn't quite manage to get himself up and over that last bar. But well done, Zeke. Brilliant effort.
And everyone was clapping, which was very nice. Show that he's done a very good job.
Michelle at the javelin now. Runs up. Ooh. And the javelin's kind of gone back on itself. Miss Robinson just giving her some pointers on where perhaps she might have gone slightly wrong there. So Mrs. Seaton and Tom now have the job of measuring out the different markers over at the shot put. And then obviously feed back those results to the scorer's tent. And then all those points will be accumulated to the house totals, and then obviously Mr. Richards will do presentation shortly. As you can see, those pupils that have completed both their field events congregated in their middle there near the podiums, and I'm sure it won't be too long before we have some more presentations for you at home.
Hello everyone at home, by the way.
Hello.
Hope you're having a nice time, probably with a cup of tea on the sofa, maybe.
Whilst I'm sure there's a lot of disappointment at people not being able to be here in person, it probably has advantages watching at home, because you can sit on a sofa, you can have a cup of tea.
Yeah, you could do a little bit of tea tasting.
Indoor picnic maybe.
Yeah. And you won't get cold from the little wind out here.
Now, contrary to popular opinion, we're not actually in some kind of executive commentary box, are we? We are.
No, when I was asked to do commentary, I thought I would be like in one of those BBC offices. I'm just outside by a table.
The harsh reality of working in commentary, Daisy.
Yeah.
We're sat outside in the wind, but we're having fun.
Yeah, we are. And that's always what matters.
The high jump has finished. The long jump has finished by the looks of things. So we're just waiting for the javelin, I think, to finish up, as you can see there. Girls just practicing their techniques. As it looks like Ellie Isles for the Britons steps up. That's a good attempt, Ellie. Miss B at the bottom of your picture. Medical backup coming across. Not that it's needed, but obviously Sass and Miss B just on hand to make sure that the pupils are all safe and well and are keeping hydrated. Lots of water over there. And rumours of some possible caramel bars for energy, Daisy.
Yeah, I think I saw them on Saturday. And I think I saw them today as well. Might have to have a little break and get a caramel bar.
Replenish those energy levels for your second half of commentary. So Stanley Williamson just collecting one of the javelins and bringing it back for Emmy Davis, who paces back, or strides back, javelin out in her hand for the Saxons, and she steps up. Oof, that's a big throw. Doesn't quite stick in the ground, kind of bounces back. Miss Robinson just goes to have a quick check.
I'm not really sure what the aim is in javelin. Does it have to stick in the ground for it to be a good throw?
I think they have to have the point, the front-facing point is where it's marked from. So obviously if it turns around, I think that's not that beneficial.
Oh, interesting.
Some dance moves going on there by the javelin. Do you have a specific celebratory dance move?
I usually like to stick with jazz hands.
Jazz hands, very reliable celebration, jazz hands.
Yeah, just because I'm not the best at dance, but just a little jazz hands makes a good celebration dance move. What's your favourite celebration dance move, Mr. Carter?
It's a good question, Daisy. The canoe is always a popular choice.
The canoe? What's
the
that?
Canoe, yeah, you have to drop to the floor and shuffle along like you're in a canoe.
Oh, interesting.
Just waiting for the next thrower in javelin, the next athlete to step forward. So Zeke is over there at the javelin now after his heroics at the high jump. He's obviously moved on to the javelin. Lots of practicing going on.
I think now all the year 8s are packing up the long jump and being very helpful. Potentially. Or maybe not. Not really sure. I think the year 8s may have come to help with the boys who have been doing other events and now coming to long jump.
Yeah, it looks like Seb Dearsley, who obviously was in the top 2 for the high jump, has headed over to the long jump. At the moment, he's got his cones to pace out his run up for the long jump. So, yeah, as you're rightly saying, Daisy, I think there's a few more competitors headed over to the long jump now just to compete in their second field event. And javelin's obviously pretty popular at the moment. Miss Robinson's got her work cut out. It's good to keep her on her toes, though.
Yeah, good.
You're in her tutor, aren't you?
Yeah, I am. She's very lively, and sometimes she brings Tillium, which is quite fun. And Tillium,
Lively or lovely?
lively, but also lovely. She's very nice.
Yeah, good save, Daisy.
Yeah. Got to be on your toes when you're commentating as well. Got to save some of your speech things.
like a practice jump from Seb, just to get his run up on point. His ankle obviously not that badly affected by the high jump. He seems to be going all right. Although having said that, Jacob's just giving him a little pat with the ice pack, making sure he's okay. He seems to be walking all right. And obviously after the field events, we'll have the track events. And the last track event is the house relay, which, you know, counts as double points.
Does it?
It does, Daisy, I can confirm.
I didn't know that, but it's always very fun to do.
It is really fun, yeah.
It's only 50 metres, so it's not that long that you run and you just sprint back and forth and see which house wins.
All to play for. That's a good javelin throw there. Emily Groves. Some hand clapping games going on there. Big smile from Anne as she runs across on the javelin. Lots of smiling faces, Daisy.
Yeah, and lots of very good handshakes.
Seb Dearsley on the long jump. Running up now. It's a good attempt.
I think some of the boys are playing catch as well. Well, they're waiting.
Yeah, I'm not sure that's an event. But it's
But-
keeping their hands warm.
Yeah, keeping their hands warm because they definitely need to keep them warm so they can play properly.
They do indeed. So Ralph now returning one of the javelins. Miss Robinson giving some final words of wisdom, and it looks like it could
Okay, we're
be
going
Hannah
to jump
Buschel.
in for
We'll leave you with
the
Mr. Richards for
girls'
some more
long jump event.
presentations.
This one was particularly tricky because it was into a direct headwind. So well done to, in third place, Flora Wilson. In second place, Amelia Crocker. And in first place, Annie Winston. Well done, girls.
Well done to those girls on receiving their certificates. Be very pleased with themselves. And it looks like Seb Dearsley's finished his long jump attempts, so he heads back over as well to the middle of the arena. So just javelin still to go. Still quite a crowd over at the javelin, as you can see there. More hand games. My name is Hilo, Chickalo, Chickalo, Hilo, that sort of thing.
Yeah, there's also some like dirty apple. There's one which is like about an apple.
Okay.
There's one about a person. And there's one where you have to close your eyes, and if you can do the handshake while eyes closed, then you're friends.
Makes sense to me. Does it help with athletic ability, being able to do hand things?
Well, it warms your hands up again.
Warms your hands up. Excellent. Okay.
And it gives the power of youth.
The power of youth. Yeah. Emmy Davis there having an attempt. Oh, sorry, Isabel Hannah. Just a practice attempt with the javelin. Just having a bit of a run up. Just envisaging where she's going to release the javelin. It's a good attempt by Isabel. She goes back to the huddle.
The huddle of handshakes.
And Ralph collects the javelin. Strong look there, in the school blazer and games kit.
Yeah, it's quite professional. Also cleaning it after everyone. He's like a school cleaner. Like the school cleaning ladies.
That count as smart casual, school blazer and games kit?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, Sienna now with the javelin. Oh, we'll go to Mr. Richards for the boys' high jump, sorry.
Personal best. It's a huge well done to all of you. In third place, Jimmy Chen. In second place, Seb Dearsley. And in first place, Ezekiel of Sebi. Well done, our boy high jumpers.
Well done to Zeke, Seb and Jimmy on their high jump heroics. Fantastic achievement, boys. And we're still waiting for the javelin to finish over there.
Yeah, still quite a crowd over there, and they all look quite happy, so they must be doing quite well, or just cheering each other on.
Sophia there with her camera as well, taking lots of snaps of them in action. And Mr. Clark heading over as well to lend a hand, perhaps. So it shouldn't be too much longer until we switch and we move on to the track events, which are always exciting.
Like we're at the Olympics.
Better than the Olympics, Daisy.
Yeah, because there's Mr. Carter commentating.
Stop that. Okay, so it looks like, is that Amelia Crocker? I think it is Amelia Crocker. Big throw off camera. Ooh, comes down. Miss Robinson's just going to check that. She's given a last minute hints and tips with the technique.
And there's Ralph in his smart casual outfit coming to clean the javelin.
Some of the girls flying.
Quite an interesting technique to fly.
Attempting to be flying squirrels. Might have helped with the high jump.
Yeah.
So Ariane up next on the javelin. It's very windy over there, isn't it?
It is. It's quite windy here too, if you can hear it on the microphone. These microphones are very cool as well. They're quite odd.
Do you feel like an old school commentator?
Yeah, an old school commentator. Oh, they're called lip mics.
Emily Groves now with the javelin. Heads back to have an attempt. That's a good attempt, by the looks of things. So Miss Robinson heads out to mark where the javelin ended up.
Emily Groves is in blue. I can see there's lots of cheesy smiles.
More hand clapping, shaking things going on, tapping chests.
Yeah, might be able to teach you one of them. They're quite fun. I want to learn one that was in the Parent Trap. Seems quite like detailed. It would be quite fun, like a dance routine.
The Parent Trap, was that where Lindsay Lohan plays? Yeah.
Yeah.
Other films are available. I mean, I haven't seen it, obviously. I've just heard about it.
It's actually quite good.
Good attempt by Michelle there. Ralph collecting the javelin and takes it back. They're very efficient on the javelin, aren't they? They are sanitising every javelin before it gets passed on.
Yeah.
Which is good.
Here we have Sophia looking quite interested and excited with her photography. Oh, now she is.
Hannah Buschel now to throw the javelin. Sensibly waiting for Miss Robertson to get out of the way.
Yeah, I don't think it would be that nice if you had a javelin being chucked at you.
No. Looks like we might be going to Mr. Richards in a minute for more presentations, but for now we'll stay with the javelin. Hannah Buschel steps up. Good attempt, and the boys will go and retrieve it. Miss Robinson should have just got Tilly to go and fetch for her.
Yeah, but how would Tilly wear a smart casual outfit? Because the outfit really matters as well.
This is why you want to be a fashion designer.
Yeah.
So who's next through the crowd? I think it's Ellie Isles I can see through the crowd. Good throw. Oh, double fist pump then.
And double high five just then as well.
And Miss Robinson has given them a round of applause, and some of the girls are heading back now. So I think that's Ellie and Hannah done. So well done, girls. They're heading back to congregate with the rest of Year 7, who are sat very patiently waiting for these last few throwers and the javelin to finish their throws. And then obviously we will be moving on to the track events. The excitement's barely started here.
Yeah, it's all going to get quite tense when they're doing the running, because everything can change in the last 10 meters or something. Maybe 10 centimeters.
They do actually have the iPad for the track event set up on the finish line, because as we know from the Year 8 Sports Day on Saturday, a lot of the races ended up with a photo finish, and so the sports staff needed to have a look at the slow motion replays to determine who finished in which position. Handcross Park Raceline Technology, HXP RLT.
Very interesting. How do you remember that?
English teacher.
Oh yeah, of course.
Lots of dancing going on.
Yeah, keeping the spirits up.
So I think we're going to Mr. Richard for more presentations. But we will wait and see. He's got his trusty clipboard ready.
Okay, after a recount and a double check, we have the boys' shot put results. In third place, Sammy Kirk. In second place, Daniel Connolly. And in first place, Anakin Liang. Well done, boys.
So 2 people on the podium for the Britons and 1 for the Vikings. So the Britons will be chuffed with that. Obviously, not you, Daisy, because you're staying impartial for the commentary.
Yeah, definitely. I'm not chuffed at all.
Just waiting for these last few then to finish their javelin throws. Miss Robinson's given some tips. Can't quite see who that is through the crowd. What's the collective noun for a group of Year 7s? You know, you have like a gaggle of geese or a murder of crows. What would you say a group of Year 7s are known as?
A group.
Comprehensive. Thank you, Daisy.
Yeah, I know, very smart.
That's gone extremely high.
Did you know a baby rabbit's called a kitten, not a bunny?
I didn't know that.
I know.
Learn something new every day. You might be making that up, I'm not sure, but I'm going to believe
I
you.
don't think I am. I think I saw it. A group of Year 7s might be called a flock, actually.
A flock. We'll call them a flock of Year 7s. There's a flock of
Yeah.
Year 7s over at the Javelin.
Like a flock of sheep.
I won't repeat what Ollie said a group of Year 8s were called.
Now I want to know. I have the power of youth, sir.
This is true. I don't, which is why I can't remember what he actually said.
Oh.
So Ralph and Stanley just collecting more javelins there. More hand clapping going on. They're going to wear their hands out. Emily Groves with an attempt there. There's a quick chat with Mr. Clark as she comes back. And it looks like Michelle's going to be next up.
We got quite a flock of your rates around us now as well. There's only about 3 people left at the Javelin, so it should go through quite quickly and we can get onto the track events.
First up for the track event, we've got the 800 metre final for the girls and then the 800 metre final for the boys. So very exciting. But it looks like Sienna and Michelle and Annie Winston are still over at the Javelin. Although, is Annie now heading back to the middle? I think she might be. I think she might have finished her javelin attempts. And she's heading back. And Sienna's now having another attempt to throw. Ralph heads to measure.
I think Sienna and Michelle might be done now, so we can get onto the track events of the 800 metre final girls and boys.
That looks like it is all wrapped up, and you can see all the pupils waiting very patiently, sat all together in the middle of the track, which is nice. Miss Robinson and Mr. Clark will just finish off. They'll have to wait for Miss Robinson because she is the starter for every race.
With her gun that doesn't shoot anything.
Her gun and her trusty flag, which she waves in the air to signal that they're ready to start. So we'll have to wait for her to get ready, but we will shortly be moving on to the track events.
Here we have a flock of year 7s.
It's like an Attenborough documentary.
Here, in their natural environment.
In the midst of a field, we have a flock of year 7s.
That was very impressive.
They are grouped together in 2 groups. These might signal their friendship.
Okay, boys and girls, and ladies and gentlemen at home, we've got the girls' shot put result. In 3rd place, Emmy Davis. In 2nd place, Hannah Buschel. And in 1st place, Michelle Olideo.
Well done, girls. Fantastic results on the shot put. They look pleased with themselves as well. So we will be shortly getting the track events underway. This might be a good opportunity for you to get yourself another cup of tea or have a comfort break.
Maybe you could change the type of tea you've got. If you're with just a builder's tea, you can have Earl Grey now, or maybe a herbal, a green tea.
Fancy.
Yeah, or even decaf.
The sun is out actually now, so it's turned into quite a nice afternoon. Perhaps we should have bought a picnic or something.
Boys' long jump
Richards.
results, and it actually came back to the 2nd jump, and the difference was 1 centimetre. So really tight affair in the strong wind today. In 3rd place though was Seb Dearsley. In 2nd place, Jacob Spears. And in 1st place, Jimmy Chen. Well done, boys. We've just got the javelin results coming in, and then we'll be about to start our track events.
Well done, boys, for getting on the podium for the long jump. So Seb, Jacob and Jimmy, well done, boys. It's a lovely setting, isn't it, for a sports day, Daisy? Looking at the screen there. We're very fortunate.
Yeah, it is, in our little box, sitting out in the sun, watching everyone's happy faces.
Got that picture on the screen there with them all sat in the middle of the track next to a beautiful tree. So just waiting for clarification from the scoring tent as to the podium positions for the javelin. And obviously once those have been totted up, they will be passed to Mr. Richards, who will announce them and hand out those certificates. And then we will be on to the much anticipated track events. So we will have to wait and see who picks up a certificate there. Mr. Richards heading over to the podium, so he will present those certificates to the winners of the javelin any minute now. False alarm, he's teasing us. He's walked straight past the congregation, sorry, the flock of year sevens, and he's walking up to Miss Robinson, I think. So maybe they're conferring over a result that was close. So Mr. Richards has gone to meet Miss Robinson.
Well, while you're waiting, sir, what do you think you call a bear with no ear?
A bar.
A bee.
Oh, I thought you said no E, no air. I got it, sorry. Very good. See on the screen there, Mr. Richards and Miss Robinson conferring over the results. Just double checking. Either that or they're playing hangman.
Yeah, they might be. We actually can't see their clipboards, so can't be completely sure.
Very serious looking there as they come over.
They might be trying to hide that they were playing hangman as they look so serious.
Possibly. Trying to bluff us. Top tip for you, Mr. Richards. Go through the vowels first.
Yeah, it's always a good one. I always start with A though. I don't know if that's very good.
Okay, I think Mr. Richards might be ready now.
Okay, boys and girls, I have the javelin results hot off the press. A very competitive one today. I think there was the most people competing in the javelin and really, really windy conditions, so very tricky today. The girls' javelin results: in third place, Amy Davis. In second place, Emily Groves. And in first place, Amelia Crocker. Well done, girls. The boys' javelin results: in third place, Louis de la Day. In second place, Anakin Liang. And in first place, Daniel Connolly. All Britons, well done. Right, boys and girls, can we get ready for our 800-meter finals, please?
Okay, so that signals the end of the field events, and the pupils will now be heading to their positions for the 800 metres final. Now, as Daisy said at the start, the pupils have already run the qualifiers for these in their PE lessons, and the top 8 will compete in these 800 metres finals. So, to begin with, it will be the girls. And just to start us off, in lane 1, we've got Chelsea representing the Saxons. In lane 2, Persephone representing the Normans. In lane 3 will be Isabel representing the Saxons. In lane 4, representing the Vikings, will be Amelia.
In lane 5 is Emmy Davis representing the Saxons. In lane 6 is Rosie Dobbs representing the Britons. In lane 7, Connie Whale representing the Normans. And in lane 8, Caris O'Brien representing the Normans.
So the girls just heading across or making their way to their starting positions now. Might be worth noting that the record for the girls 800 metres final was set in 2017 by Clemmy Little and was 2 minutes and 52 seconds. So that's a time that some of these girls might be aiming to break. We'll have to wait and see how they get on. But they're heading over to their starting positions now. You can see the iPad there, the trusty iPad on the finish line, with members of staff who will be in charge of positioning the pupils as they cross that finish line. So obviously 800 metres, quite a distance, isn't it?
Yeah, it's 2 full laps.
It is indeed 2 full laps of the track. So you can see those pupils there heading over, just getting the pre-race briefing by Mr. Richards, Mr. Evans and Miss Robinson. It would be the girls to go first, and then once they've raced we will talk through who is competing in the boys final.
And you'll see on the second lap they all go into lane 1 so that it's equal distance. So you'll see them all go back into one lane.
And how do they know it's the final lap, Daisy?
When you go past the line you started on.
I was going to say that Mr. Evans rings a bell normally.
Oh.
But yes, yes, your answer was all equally as sensible. It's when you've gone round once and you know you've got a second time to go round. Thank you, Daisy. You can see the extent of the wind here with the bunting there just blowing slightly sideways. Actually calmed a little bit since we started, which is nice. There you go, waving at the camera.
There are all the Year 8s here helping out with the track organisation as well. Little clipboards.
We'll also be making sure that the athletes are starting where they should be, that they're not trying to creep a couple of paces ahead of where they should be. And also they'll be helping on the finish line as well, just ensuring that those pupils are placed in the correct positions as well. So an exciting afternoon of track events coming up shortly. As I say, starting with the 800 metres girls final to begin with, and then the 800 metres boys final. Okay, so the girls now heading over to their respective lanes.
And they're staggered here because of the bend, so they all end up getting equal distances.
See Tom Dargan there just making sure that they are where they should be in their lanes. Some of the girls getting themselves into a starting position already. Some of them looking quite cool, calm and collected as they get ready to begin this. 800 metres, 2 laps of the track.
And all the boys are already lined up on the bench, very organised by the games team.
There's Chelsea on the screen, you can see there in lane 1. Stephanie there in lane 2. Isabel Hannah there for Saxons in lane 3. There's Amelia Crocker in lane 4. Rosie Dobbs, Emmy Davis, lane 5. Rosie Dobbs, lane 6. Connie Whale, lane 7. And Caris O'Brien in lane 8. So the girls just waiting for Miss Robinson's instruction. Her pistol is raised and they are off.
Good luck. Lots of cheering coming from all their friends. From the flock of Year 7.
Just heading around the back of the tree now at the moment. As they head around the back of the house tent, so just past Sass's tent, and then you can see all the pupils cheering them on that far side, which is nice to see. So this, remember, the first of their laps. They'll have another one to do afterwards.
Seems quite close, and Caris seems in front, and then it's all in the middle.
Yeah, Caris looks like she's made a good start on that first straight, but as they get to the top bend, it looks as though from here Emmy Davis might have taken the lead there as they're on the top bit of the track heading towards the school end.
Followed by Amelia Crocker, then Karis just behind.
So lots of breathing there by Emmy as she comes onto the straight, which will eventually be the finishing straight, but obviously they've got one more lap to go. So Emmy Davis in the lead at the moment for the Saxons, followed by Amelia Crocker, who is closely followed by Isabel Hanna in third place. And then it's very tight between Rosie Dobbs and Karis O'Brien, Persephone Boyle, and then Connie Whale, and then we've got Chelsea.
And here taking over Mr. Evans' bell ringing duty is Jemima Moulton. Ringing the bell.
Excellent running from the girls so far. Mr. Richards just given some encouragement from the sidelines about technique and pumping those arms. And they are set off now. This is their final lap, so the last 400 metres for these girls. As they go behind that tree there. Mr. Brown crossing the track. So Emmy Davis looks to be stretching her lead at the moment as she goes towards the back of the house tent, followed closely by Amelia Crocker and Isabel Hanna. Emmy Davis still out in front, striding ahead. Amelia Crocker in second place. Isabel Hanna just catching Amelia Crocker, and Isabel's actually overtaken Amelia, who stopped for a bit there. Bit of a walk, but she's picked up again. She's spurred on by the fact that Isabel had overtaken her, and Amelia's taken back second place.
Very close between second and third, as you can see.
So Emmy Davis just rounding that top bend up towards the school and the Astro as she approaches what will be her last 100 metres. And actually, very good display of stamina here by Emmy as she's still running at quite a consistent pace as she enters the last 100 metres. Comfortably in the lead here, Emmy, for the Saxons. And then Amelia Crocker still in second place, followed by Isabel Hanna. So what of those girls have got left in the tank? Amelia Crocker's put her foot on the gas and is pushing, but Emmy Davis now crossing the line for the Saxons in first place. An excellent race by Emmy. Amelia Crocker picked up the pace there on the final 50 metres or so, and she will finish in second place. Isabel Hanna for the Saxons will cross the line in third. Excellent racing, girls. Persephone Boyle, that's a strong finish as she comes down the final straight, pumping those arms to drive herself home for the Normans. But Persephone will finish fourth.
Followed by Rosie Dobbs, Karis O'Brien, Connie and Chelsea.
Oh, Connie's pumping those arms here. She's going to catch Karis, so Karis is strolling in, but Connie, always going to be a fight between two Normans. And Connie has pipped her to the post, so Connie, then Karis, and then Chelsea. And big round of applause on the finish line for all those. So, as the girls are finishing, the boys are already in their starting positions for their 800 metres final. In lane 1 for the Saxons, we've got Johnny Pryor. In lane 2 for the Britons, we've got Louis. Lane 3 for the Normans, we've got Lex Duffy. Lane 4 for the Normans, Ben Smith.
Lane 5 for the Britons, we've got Anakin. Lane 6 for the Viking, we've got Sebastian Dearsley. Lane 7 for the Vikings, we've got Zeke, and lane 8 for the Normans, we have Harry Irving. The record is by A. Emmons in 2015 and is 2 minutes 35 seconds. We'll see if they can beat that.
You can see the background there, the girls just sat on the recovery bench as they're waiting, and the members of staff just make sure they're in the correct positions and that they're all right after that. It's quite a test of stamina and endurance, the 800 metres, so congratulations to all the girls. Fantastic racing, and as Daisy said at the start, no matter where you finish, you're picking up priceless points for your house, so well done all those girls. And the boys now getting ready. Miss Robinson has raised her flag of destiny to signal that she's ready to begin the race, and the pistol was raised. And the boys have begun their, I was going to say a saunter. It's not really a saunter, it's a race. It's a proper race. A race.
Yes. And they seem to be going at a good speed as well, though, keeping their stamina. Because one of the deceiving things is I did this 800 and I thought I could go quite fast. So I started off fast, but you end up getting very tired.
It's a tricky one, isn't it? You don't want to go off too quickly at the start. You need to conserve some energy, but at the same time, you don't want to hold yourself back too much that you can't keep up with the front pack.
Yeah.
It looks like there from the start, Oh, it's confused me. It's Ollie Winston running to support them. I didn't think he was racing. He's not. He's cheering them on. But it looks like Ben Smith out in the lead as they round the back of that tree and the second bend, the top bend towards the school. So Ben Smith in the lead, followed closely by Seb Dearsley and Anakin, who look like they're pacing themselves at the moment. Followed by Louis, Lex Duffy, Johnny Pryor, Harry Irving. So Ben Smith will come down this straight.
Seems quite a close race in the middle.
Yeah, seems very close actually. It'll be interesting to see which of these boys have conserved their energy and will push on in the second lap. Ben Smith just completing his first lap, so this will signal his final lap as the boys cross what will be eventually the finish line, and they now merge into one lane. Ben Smith still looks to be striding out ahead. Okay, as you can see the boys there running around the back of the house tents. Some of the boys picking up the pace we can see, so the pace is quickening somewhat over that far side. Again, Ollie Winston just running, offering words of advice and encouragement. Maybe talking about the power of youth, Daisy.
Yes, of course, the power of youth. And Ben Smith seems to be quite far ahead still.
Yeah, he's really striding out in this final bend, and then it'll be the last 100 metres or so for Ben Smith, and he hasn't slowed down at all. If anything, he's picking up the pace. He's just running past Miss Robinson, who's pumping those arms, and Ben Smith is really going at quite an impressive rate here as he comes down the final 75 metres or so. Follow closely, and this is going to be a tight race for second place. Anakin at the moment is in second.
Followed by Louis.
So Ben Smith crosses in first, but Seb Dearsley is charging down the straight. Anakin looks like he will hold him off. So Anakin is finishing in second. Seb Dearsley, a very strong sprint to the line, will pick up third. Louis will be fourth. Lex Duffy in fifth. Johnny Pryor finishing strongly for the Saxons.
And Zeke finish going on the last straight, and Harry behind him. Only just though.
Well, it's a good distance, this 800 metres, so it will be testing for the boys. But as you said, Daisy, every point counts towards their house, so well done to all these boys for completing this race. Zeke pumping those arms as he gets over the last 25 metres or so. And Harry coming in now with 50 metres to go for his race. So well done, boys. Superb running all round.
And well done everyone who competed. Even if you didn't get a certificate, you still got the points.
So the boys there being put onto the recovery bench in the correct positions. That's good. Ben Smith giving handshakes to the boys and pats on the back all round, which is nice to see. The boys are now sent off back to their house pens. So next up is where the HXP RLT, Handcross Park Raceline technology, really comes into its own, because it is the 100 metres, which obviously, as you can imagine, goes pretty quickly. So the game staff have to be on it, literally, with the iPad to make sure that they are recording the finishing so they can identify who finished in what position. So there are 3 divisions for the girls 100 metres. And we will start with Division 3 and work our way down to Division 1. So Miss Robinson has just given the girls a bit of a pre-race briefing, getting them into their orders. And we will shortly have the Division 3 girls 100 metres.
You can see them all getting lined up here with a pep talk from Miss Robinson saying how this race is going to work, and Jemima and Tom also helping up there with Miss Twigger.
So Division 3 for the girls. Lane 1 is actually free. There's no one in Lane 1. Lane 2, we've got Ginny representing the Saxons.
Okay, I'm going to jump in for the Year 7 girls, 800 metres. In third place, Isabel Hannah. Sorry. In second place, Amelia Crocker. And in first place, Emmy Davis. Well done, girls.
In lane 3, there's Chelsea competing for Saxons. Lane 4 is Hannah Buschel for Vikings. Lane 5, Flora Wilson for Britons. And lane 6, Ellie Isles for Britain. You can see them here just practicing their starting positions.
And they are off. So 100 metres. Oh, and Chelsea has taken a slip there, but she's back on her feet again. Good persistence there by Chelsea. Now Hannah and Flora pumping those arms as they approach the last 20 metres, and it looks like Hannah Buschel is going to finish first, Flora Wilson second, Ellie Isles third, Chelsea fourth, and Ginny finishing for us nicely there. Well done, girls. Fantastic running. And they'll come thick and fast now. So Division 2, the 100 metres girls, as they get in their lanes now.
There's no one in lane 1. In lane 2, there's Emily Groves for Vikings. Lane 3, Sienna Harding for Britons. Lane 4, Connie Whale for Normans. Lane 5, Persephone Boyle for Normans. And lane 6, Caris O'Brien.
So sorry, for Normans, yes, sorry, Daisy. So Miss Robinson just giving them a bit of a pre-race briefing there as she heads to the sideline, so she'll check that they're ready at the finish line to begin the race, and then she should fire the starting pistol. So the girls ready for the Division 2 100 metres race. Ooh, full start there.
Sometimes the gun just does a click instead of a bang.
And so the girls are off. Good start by Sienna and Emily Groves on the far side.
Seems quite close between all of them as well. Sienna just pushing forward slightly.
Sienna looks to be in the lead for the Britons as they approach the final 20 metres or so. Has a quick check over her shoulder. That's going to be very tight. From our position, it looked like Persephone in second, followed by Caris, I think. But they will consult the iPad. They'll consult Raceline Technology and decide or see who finished in which position. So Sienna for the Britons definitely won the race, and I think it was Persephone followed by Caris, but we will have to wait and see. Ralph on the iPad will confirm.
Ralph with the HXP RLT.
Well done, girls. Fantastic. So they head over to get themselves a drink of water, and Miss Robinson is already lining up the Division 1 girls 100 metres. Now, the record for this race was 13.17 seconds. So in lane 1, Ariane for the Vikings. Lane 2, Rosie for the Britons. Lane 3, Emmy for the Saxons. Lane 4, Amelia for the Vikings.
Lane 5, Annie for the Normans. Lane 6, Michelle for the Britons. And lane 7, Isabel for the Saxons. Lane 8, Anne. And they're off.
And this is going to be very tight. It's a very fast pace, and it looks like between Emmy and Amelia Crocker, and it's neck and neck as they come into the last 20 metres. This is super close. Emmy dipped there at the end, but that is going to be very hard. They will definitely need the iPad for that. We will confirm what position they finished in. It looks like they've given it initially to Amelia first and Emmy second, but they will consult the iPad. You can see Miss Lorente there with Ralph, and we're watching the replay here. What a fantastic race by the girls.
It was really very close between those two.
Neck and neck here as they go over the finish line. Amelia looks to be in front, but Emmy dips. Oof. Now it's going to be on the torso, so the dip might have helped Emmy, but they're going to have to look on the iPad. I do not envy people on the finish line.
Okay, I'm just going to jump in here with the boys. 800 metres. 800 metre results. In third place, Sebastian Beasley. In second place, Anakin Liang. And in first place, Ben Smith.
So we're just still waiting for the girls' Division 1. It looks like it's been confirmed, so it looks like Amelia to first place and Emmy second. So congratulations, girls. So we've got the boys' Division 3, 100 metres now. No one in lane 1. Seb Sheldon in lane 2 for the Vikings. Kevin in lane 3 for the Vikings. Freddie Gordon, unfortunately, isn't here, but would have been in lane 4. Daniel Connolly in lane 5 for the Britons. And Hayan Haida in lane 6 for the Britons. And they are off. You might be able to hear the cheering of support on the sidelines as the boys race into the last 50 metres or so.
Kevin seems to be in the front, closely followed by Daniel and Seb and Hayan.
Yeah, good racing, boys. Kevin finishing in first place, Daniel Connolly in second, Seb Sheldon in third.
Another great race from the boys.
And Hayan in fourth.
Jumping in again to the Year 7 girls, 100 metres, Division 3. In third place, Ellie Isles. In second place, Flora Wilson. And in first place, Hannah Buschel.
I am completely unbiased, but lots of Britons up on that podium.
There do appear to be a lot of Britons, yeah. So Miss Robinson just getting the Division 2 boys 100 metres athletes in their starting position. So in lane 2, Harry Irving for the Normans. Lane 3, Ollie Winterton for the Normans. Lane 4, Johnny Pryor for the Saxons.
Lane 5, Christian for the Normans. Lane 6, Edward Lazarus for the Saxons. Lane 7, Oliver Salomon for the Normans. And lane 8, Sammy Kirk for the Vikings.
So Miss Robinson's flag is raised to indicate she is ready. The boys are ready. And they are off. Johnny's made a strong start, but Harry Irving on that far side, pumping those legs and those arms. But Ollie Salomon and Christian not out of the running. Christian looks like he might actually be pulling ahead in the middle, but Harry Irving hasn't given up either. It's a Christian finishing first. I think Johnny Pryor second. And then it's going to be very tight between Ollie Winston and Harry Irving. You know, 3 Normans in the top 4 there.
Ollie Winterton,
Year 7
the power
girls,
of youth.
Division 2, 100 metres. In third place, Carissa O'Brien. In second place, Persephone Boyle. And in first place, Sienna Hardin.
Now, so 2 Normans on the podium and 1 Briton there, Daisy.
Yes, but I shall not say anything. I'm completely unbiased.
You're completely neutral today.
Yes.
I might be able to squeeze another one in here before Miss Robertson starts. The Division 1 girls in third place, Annie Winston. In second place, Emmy Davis. And in first place, Millie Crocker.
Well done, girls. What a great race that was.
Very tense and very close.
Okay, so the Division 1 boys 100 metres final. Now the record for this is 14.10 seconds. In lane 1, Ezekiel for the Vikings. Lane 2, Ben Smith for the Normans. In lane 3, Seb Dearsley for the Vikings. In lane 4, Anakin for the Britons.
In lane 5, Lex Duffy for the Normans. Lane 6, Jacob Spears for the Saxons. Lane 7, Louis for the Britons. And lane 8, Jimmy for the Normans.
And the boys are off. This will be a very tight race. It's a very quick start. Seb Dearsley and Anakin trying to pump those arms and those legs through the middle. About 50 metres to go, and it's very, very tight. Anakin's in the lead, but Seb is pushing hard. It's Anakin followed by Seb Dearsley and then Lex Duffy into third place. Fantastic racing, boys. Really, really fast. Excellent running.
What a race that was. Well done, boys, over there. I've got the certificates here for the Division 3 boys. In third place, Seb Sheldon. Sorry, it's really windy. In second place, Daniel Connolly. And in first place, Kevin Cheng.
Okay, the next track event we've got for you this afternoon is the 200 metres, starting with the girls. And Miss Robinson has got the pupils over by the track as we speak to their new starting positions. So she's just sorting those out. So to start with, we will have Division 3, no one in lane 1 and 2. Lane 3 will be Chelsea for the Saxons. Lane 4, Emily Groves for the Vikings. Lane 5, Ellie Isles for the Britons. And lane 6, Ginny for the Saxons. You can just see over there on the far side of the track from where we're sat this afternoon.
I have with me the boys Division 2 100 metres. In third place, Ollie Winston. In second place, Johnny Pryor. And in first place, Christian Tang.
So the Norman's doing all right actually as well. 2 positions on the podium and a Saxon in Johnny Pryor. Well done, boys.
I think all houses are doing quite well, actually.
It's quite hard to call, isn't it, actually? You wouldn't say that one house is necessarily doing better than the other.
No, it's very hard call. You got to get all the maths and numbers to find out who actually has won.
And obviously the house relay, double points. That could turn everything on its head. Points mean prizes.
Yes, it does. But also, if you don't get all the points, it's still very fun, and you participated.
Athletics is the real winner.
Yes. And the power of youth.
Okay, so Miss Robinson just getting the Division 3 200 metre athletes ready for the start of their race.
And we have the results for the boys Division 1 100 metres. A really closely contested race this. In third place, Lex Duffy. In second place, Seb Dearsley. And in first place, Anakin Liang. Well done.
So again, a good mix of houses there, but Daisy, you will, well, I mean, you won't be pleased because you're neutral, but a Briton on the podium in first place.
Yeah, I am neutral about that. I think it's a neutral thing.
Oh, Miss Robinson had looked at, she'd started the Division 3 girls 200 metres, but I think the girls were slightly premature on their start there, so they've had to go back to their starting positions, and Miss Robinson raises the flag again over the far side of the field. 200 metres this one. And they are off just as they go behind the tree. First 100 metres or so on that bend, and then it's that final push down the straight in front of us to finish for glory.
Chelsea seems so far in the front, but closely followed by Emily Groves and Ellie Isles, and Ginny just not far behind.
For the last 75 metres or so, Chelsea still in the lead with Emily Groves pushing hard behind, and then Ellie Isles still chasing. Is there a final burst in any of these girls? Excellent running by Chelsea. Chelsea takes first place, followed by Emily Groves, then Ellie Isles, and Ginny showing excellent persistence, still going. And getting lots of cheers and applause from her peers as she crosses the finish line here. So she'll be picking up points for the Saxons, which is great. So well done to the girls for Division 3. Big smile from Chelsea.
And you can see them on the recovery bench with the HXP RLT.
Okay, Miss Robinson getting the girls ready for the Division 2 200 metres. Nobody in lane 1. In lane 2, we've got Anne representing the Normans. Lane 3, Flora representing the Britons. Lane 4, Connie representing the Normans. Lane 5, Ariane representing the Vikings. Lane 6, Sienna representing the Britons. And lane 7, Rosie Dobbs representing the Britons. And they are off. They remember that first 100 metres or so behind the tree as they round the top of the track. It's quite a quick pace out top. It looks like Sienna at the moment out front, but that could all change.
That could all change when they go around the bend, because they're all in different lanes.
It's just starting to straighten up now for the last 100 metres or so. Sienna striding out. Flora Wilson also trying to pump those arms. Followed closely by Anne and Ariane. So, Sienna striding out, and can she hold off Ariane's late charge? Sienna will finish first for Britons. Second is Ariane. Third, Flora. Fourth, Anne.
And Connie's doing a little skip there. Getting lots of cheers by the flock of Year 7.
And Connie crosses the finish line now. Well done. Okay, so we are now getting ready for the girls' Division 1. The record was 29.4 seconds.
In lane 1 is Hannah Buschel for the Vikings. Lane 2, Persephone Boyle for the Normans. Lane 3, Isabel Hannah for the Saxons. Lane 4, Emmy Davis for the Saxons. Lane 5, Michelle for the Britons. Lane 6, Annie for the Normans. Lane 7, Amelia Crocker for the Vikings. And lane 8, Caris O'Brien for the Normans.
That record for the Division 1 200 metres was set in 2012. So another pretty long-standing record as the girls set off on their 200 metres race. It looks like Amelia Crocker at the moment is out front. However, Emmy Davis pumping those arms, and she looks like she's taken the lead for the Saxons as she comes into the final 50 metres or so. That's a very impressive pace by Emmy Davis. She's probably in the lead by about a good 20 metres or so, or 15 metres or so, and she crosses the finish line in first place for the Saxons. Emmy first, Amelia Crocker second, Michelle third. It's going to be close for fourth, but I think it's Hannah Buschel, followed by Isabel Hannah, then Persephone Boyle, and then Caris O'Brien, I believe.
Okay. Microphone. Test. Hello?
There seems to be a slight problem with the microphone of Mr. Richards, so the presentation for certificates for the girls, I think it's being slightly delayed just now.
Technical difficulties.
With the HXP RLT.
The HXP MIC.
Oh yes, of course, Mike. You can see the Division 1 girls making their way over to the podium.
So Miss Robinson actually has raised the flag for the Division 3 boys 200 metres. In lane 2, Seb Sheldon for the Vikings. Lane 3, Kevin for the Vikings. Lane 4, Ollie Salomon for the Normans. Lane 5, Hayen for the Britons. And then Freddie Gordon was supposed to be competing in this event, but he is a non-runner. So the boys ready to begin their race.
And they're off.
It looks like actually Daniel Connolly's in this race as well. He's striding out in the lead ahead at the moment. As we come into the final 75 metres or so, Daniel pumping those arms, and Ollie Salomon is hot on his heels. Kevin pushing hard on the far side. Can Daniel hold those boys off? He's got about 20 metres to go. It's very, very tight. Daniel is going to finish first for Britons, then Ollie Salomon, then Kevin in third place, Hayen in fourth, and then Seb Sheldon in fifth. Fantastic race that, boys. Well done. Mr. Brown and Mrs. Taylor to cheer them on at the finish line.
I'm going to try again here with these presentations. The girls 200 metres Division 3, third place, Ellie Isles.
Thank you.
Second place, Emily Groves.
Go on, Emily. Thank you.
And in first place, Chelsea Sun.
Well done, girls. Miss Robinson's raised the flag to signal the start of the Division 2 200 metres. In lane 2, Ed Lazarus for the Saxons. Lane 3, Christian for the Normans. Lane 4, Ezek for the Vikings.
Lane 5, Harry Irving for the Normans. Lane 6, Ollie Winterton for the Normans. And lane 7, Sammy Cook for the Vikings.
The boys rounding the top bend of the track at the moment, so that's coming to the end of their first 100 metres. The final 100 metres to come, and it's a pretty quick pace and quite a tight pack at the moment, as it looks like Sammy Kirk and Christian are the front runners. The final 75 metres or so, Christian looks like he's in the lead for the Normans, pumping those arms, long strides, but Sammy Kirk's not giving up. He's pushing him all the way in. Ezek making a late burst for third place. Christian will finish first, Sammy second, Ezek third, Ed Lazarus fourth, Ollie Whittington fifth, Harry Irvin sixth. Fantastic running, boys, well done.
And I have the girls Division 2 200 metres. In third place, Flora Wilson. In second place, Ariane Doherty. And in first place, Sienna Hardin.
Okay, and the boys Division 1 200 metres is ready to go. The record for this, 26.8 seconds. In lane 1, Jimmy for the Normans. Lane 2, Ben Smith for the Normans. Lane 3 is Lex and Norman Hattrick. Lane 4, Anakin for the Britons.
Lane 5, Jacob Spears for the Saxons. Lane 6, Sebastian Dearsley for the Vikings. Lane 7, Louis for the Britons. And lane 8, Johnny Pryor for the Saxons.
So the boys round in that top bend, and it's tight at the front there. Anakin looks like he's striding out, but Jacob Spears is hot on his heels, followed by Seb Dearsley and Johnny Pryor. Jimmy also on the far side making a push for it. They've got about 75 metres to go, and this is going to be very tight indeed. Anakin striding out now ahead, but Jacob and Seb Dearsley battling for second place. Anakin will finish first, then Jacob, then Seb Dearsley in third, Jimmy in fourth. And it's going to be very, very tight there from then on. So very good running, boys.
Well done to the boys there. I've got the girls 200 metres, Division 1. In third place, Michelle Oladeo. In second place, Amelia Crocker. And in first place, Emmy Davis.
Well done, girls. Fantastic racing.
Seems to be getting a bit windy out here, but that won't dampen their spirits for the hurdles.
Luckily, we've managed to avoid the rain, so you can see there the Year 8's been really helpful in putting out the hurdles, so we can go ahead with the hurdle event, which will be next after Mr. Richards' presentations.
As we set up for the hurdles, we've got the boys 200 metres, Division 3, third place, Kevin Cheng. Second place, Ollie Salomon. And in first place, Daniel Connolly.
Well done, boys. Excellent racing. Well done, Daniel. Britain's on top again.
Yeah, Britain first so far. I mean, on this podium. All looking very happy with their certificates as well.
The boys Division 2, 200 metres. In third place, Ezekiel Olufisebe. Well done, Zeke. In second place, Sammy Kirk. And in first place, Christian Tang.
Can't see any Britons on the podium that time around, Daisy.
Well done to the boys in that race. They still did very well getting on the podium, even if they're not a Briton, but I'm neutral, so it doesn't
And
matter.
the boys Division 1 final, really good race there. In third place was Seb Dearsley. In second place, Jacob Spears. And in first place, Anakin Liang.
First place.
Well done, Britain. Except I'm completely unbiased, and they're all done excellently.
Very good racing, boys. Fantastic race. So as Mr. Richards has explained, the next event, or the last two races of the afternoon, we've got the 75 metres hurdles final. Okay, so starting off with the girls, Miss Robinson's got them all up at the top of the track there, ready to begin. In lane 1, we've got Amelia Crocker for the Vikings, and then obviously they're going to leave a lane. And in lane 3, Emmy Davis for the Saxons.
In lane 5, Rosie Dobbs for the Britons, and in lane 7, Michelle for the Britons.
So 4 competitors for the girls' 75 metre hurdle final. Actually looks like Rosie's not running for this race. I beg your pardon.
Seems to be a false start of some sort as they're making their way back, or that was just a practice.
A few last minute stretches there from the girls. See Jemima and Tom just giving them some last bits of encouragement. Any tips for the hurdles, Daisy?
Try and jump over them. I don't think you're allowed to go under them.
So it's not an over, under type event?
No.
Oh, okay.
And you're not allowed to go through them. So yeah, try jump over and don't knock them.
Insightful, thank you very much.
You're welcome. They go leaping over like gazelles.
Simile.
Yeah, again, I'm doing so many English devices.
So Miss Robinson's flag is raised, signalling to the finish line that she is ready to begin the race. Pistol is raised. Full start. Gun failure. She's going for her trusty whistle. And the girls are off. It's the first hurdle. Successful.
They are leaping gazelles. Now that's a metaphor as well. Emmy Davis seems to be pushing in first, closely followed by Michelle and Amelia. It seems quite tight between those two as well, but it seems that Amelia Crocker might have just got in for second.
Yeah, I think Emmy Davis finished first. Amelia Crocker looks like second, and then Michelle in third. But all valuable points for their houses, so well done, girls. Fantastic racing. I don't think a hurdle was knocked down there, was there?
No, I think they got the aim of hurdles, jump over them.
Just catching their breath on the bench there. I think it's going to be close, actually. The house point, or not the house point, sorry, the house scores at the end of this sports day. I think there's been a good mixture of houses on the podium. So obviously a Saxons winner in that race, but I think it's going to be very tight.
Yeah, and a lot of the Year 7s seem quite athletic as well, so they seem like they're enjoying this, as well as those who don't seem to be that athletic.
So the boys now getting themselves into their position for the 75 metre hurdles final. In lane 1, Anakin for the Britons. Lane 3, Jacob for the Saxons.
Lane 5, Jimmy Chen for the Normans, and lane 7, Sebastian Dearsley for the Vikings.
So actually the girls' race, there wasn't a Norman representative, whereas in the boys' race we've got a representative from each house. Boys just getting ready, just limbering up. There's Jimmy there, the Norman representative. Jacob next to him for the Saxons. Just trying to get his steps in, followed by Anakin. You might have been able to pick up some comments there on the microphones about Anakin just being able to walk over it. He's quite tall, but I still think he might need to put some effort into jumping over the hurdles.
Yeah, to make sure he doesn't knock them over, and some good advice from Jemima and Tom.
And last words of wisdom from Miss Robinson. She raises the flag. The boys now in their starting positions. And they are off. Seb Disley not racing, presumably because of his ankle from the high jump earlier. Anakin in the lead, followed closely by Jimmy and Jacob, pushing on. So Anakin first for the Britons, Jimmy second for the Normans, and then Jacob third for the Saxons. Anakin congratulating Jimmy there at the end. And Jacob just coming back to the recovery bench now. So well done, boys and girls. Excellent hurdling. The hurdles are now being cleared away off the track by our temporary maintenance team consisting of Year 8 and game staff.
A flock of Year 8s.
Flock of Year... Oh, yeah. I thought it was a flock of Year 7s.
Yeah, but I don't know what Ollie Winterton called a flock of Year 8s, so...
And so then what will happen, the pupils will all congregate in the middle. Mr. Richards might like to do a couple more presentations, and then we will conclude this afternoon's athletics with the house relay, which is always exciting and always lots of fun. We hope you've enjoyed the sports day watching at home in the comfort of your own home.
You couldn't have a competition if there's anyone else watching this with you who drank the most cups of tea or ate the most biscuits, perhaps.
I thought you were going to say competing as in actually doing the events themselves at home. Well, it looks like we're heading straight over to the track actually, so maybe we're doing things in reverse. So it looks like we're going to get on with the house relay to begin with, so you can see the pupils just organising themselves into their houses. For those of you not aware, the Vikings are represented by the blue, the Saxons are yellow, the Normans are green, and the Britons are red. So they're just organising themselves into their houses. Now, depending on the numbers in each house, obviously some houses may have to have pupils who run more than once. And what it is, it's a straight dash down the track. There are members of staff at the end who will hold flags up, and they will drop the flag once the next runner can go. And so they should all end up at the finish line. As I say, some pupils might end up having to run more than once to compensate for house numbers.
And here there seems to be pupils in Year 8 holding the flags at the end, not staff.
I beg your pardon, Daisy.
But this final relay race is usually just a bunch of fun and quite competitive, as it counts as double points.
The flag holding on the finish line is actually a very important role, because not only are you signalling for the next pupil to run, but bearing in mind where we are in Sussex, we've also got to be very careful that we don't bring any planes down by our flag waving.
Okay, everybody, I have my last two presentations of the afternoon. The children have worked so hard. They're on their last legs here. But the 75-metre hurdles, Michelle Oladeu, third place. In second place, Amelia Crocker. And in first place, Amy Davis.
Thank you.
Well done, girls.
The only
And
thing
boys, 75-metre hurdles, Division 1, Jacob Spears.
Well done, Jacob.
In second place, Jimmy Chen.
Good running, Jimmy.
And in first place, Anakin Liang.
Well done, Anakin. Fantastic running, boys. Hurdling, should I say. You were saying, Daisy?
I was saying that Tom Dargan is a Briton and is doing the flags for Britain. Xavier is a Norman and is doing the flags for Normans. That might be a slight problem. Let's hope there's no cheating or anything.
So one of the commentators is a Briton. The flag holder for the Britons is a Briton. I'm spotting a pattern here.
I mean, Britons are the best, and that's alliteration. I'm using literary devices, so you can't, like, say anything.
Remember to stay neutral, Daisy.
Oh, yeah, sorry, I'm neutral. Definitely.
Saxons look like they're a bit understaffed there. Can you see 3 of them or so? So Mr. Evans and Miss Robinson, Mr. Clark, Miss Twigger just down there, just getting the pupils ready.
but I think some more Saxons are coming over, so hopefully there are a few more. But
Reinforcements.
luckily I can't see any planes in the sky, so I think we'll be safe with the flags and planes.
That's a relief. They've done really well, the pupils, all pupils this afternoon. As Daisy said, whether or not they've finished on the podium or just run to pick up points for their houses, they've all done fantastically well. And it looks like, from the looks on their faces, that they've really enjoyed themselves as well. So excellent work, Year 7. You've done yourselves proud. We're just finalising running orders and deciding who's going to run perhaps more than once and which order they're going to run in. Mr. Myers-Allen and his dog Captain appearing on the top of the screen there.
Come for companionship and for touring.
Don't tell me you've roped Captain in to run for the Britons. That's not fair.
No, but I think Captain will probably be quite speedy.
I agree, I think he would be. Mr. Myers-Allen's quite speedy.
I didn't know that.
And they say owners like their dogs.
Oh. Learnt quite a few things today.
So if that's the case, Captain is also an excellent maths teacher.
Yeah, that must be true.
Now, the Year 8 helpers have been fantastic this afternoon, but there is a large number of them walking around eating caramel bars at the moment, Daisy.
Yeah, that was quite a perk to coming over here. Might be why they're all there right now. The caramel bars also definitely seem to be quite popular. When we get them occasionally at break times, there's always a rush to go and get them.
Okay, so the pupils now on their feet, just having final checks from the game staff, making sure that the pupils know if they're required to run more than once. And then the idea is that the whole house will then be sat over the finish line behind their flag bearer. And obviously the first house to be over the finish line, having completed the required number of lengths, sat down quietly, will be crowned the house relay champions.
This relay can also change all the points for everything. So, yeah.
The round of applause there, because Seb Dearsley, I'm not sure if he had to go to the school due to injury or if he just needed a comfort break himself. I'm not sure, but I think the Vikings are relieved that Seb has made his way back to join them, and nice to see the other houses giving him a round of applause as he rejoins the Vikings. So it looks to me like Anakin will start the running for the Britons. Annie Winterton looks like she's going to start for the Normans. Emmy looks like she's going to start for the Saxons. And Zeke looks like he's going to start for the Vikings.
Mr. Evans doing his final preparation, making sure everyone runs at the right time, and they'll be off soon.
And they are off. So the house relay has begun. And it's time. Anakin striding out ahead for the Britons. So Britons finish first, then Saxons, Normans, then Vikings. I say finish, I mean for the first length. Jacob Spears is trying to pull it back for Saxons. He's doing a great job. He has actually pulled the Saxons back into the lead. And so has Seb Dearsley for the Vikings. This is very, very tight indeed. Emilia Crocker is in the lead for the Vikings. Then Isabel Hannah, and then the Britons, and then Connie Whale for the Normans. So the Vikings still in the lead. Seb Sheldon leading the charge, but Louis has overtaken for the Britons. So a great length by Louis. And it's super tight. Here, Johnny Pryor looks like he's going to pull things back for the Saxons, but Sammy Kirk is pushing him all the way. The Normans still bringing up the rear. Ariane and Chelsea, neck and neck. It's neck and neck between Vikings and the Saxons at the moment, but that could all change, obviously. And Hannah Buschel here striding out. The Vikings now got quite a lead, but Sienna for the Britons is second place, Christian for third for the Normans, and then Ginny. The Vikings still in the lead, then Britons, then Normans, and then Saxons. Emmy Davis doing a fantastic job to claw things back. Some of these pupils now on their second length. Jacob Spears is one of those pupils for the Saxons.
Britons are catching up to Vikings, and Normans closely followed.
So the Vikings and the Britons both on their penultimate runners. Actually, all teams are on their penultimate runners. So this is going to be really tight. The Vikings are off. Emilia Crocker is their last runner. So Emilia Crocker will win the house relay for the Vikings. It's going to be very tight. It looks like Louis will come second for the Britons, then Norman's third, and then Johnny Pryor finalises the Saxons competition. So the Saxons came fourth.
So well done to the Vikings.
That was a very fast race. Thank you for your neutrality there. That was very good.
You're welcome.
So we'll just wait for that to be confirmed by Mr. Evans, and I believe Mr. Richards will do a presentation.
I think Year 8's quite enjoyed waving a flag around. They're being very enthusiastic.
What a way to finish your time at Handcross Park, by waving a flag around.
Yeah. It's going to be quite sad when we all leave. This is our final full day.
Final full day. Off to Thorpe Park tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm very excited though, because the money we made from our fair, we get to spend there.
Yep, you had the Year 8s had a entrepreneur fair yesterday. Showcase their business acumen, business skills. How did you get on?
We did all right, I think.
Did you make a profit?
Yes. And one group called Toby's Treats made £230. But then they also spent quite a lot on profit, which will have to be added up. I mean, buying stuff.
Taken away, yeah, reduced. Okay, so you can see the podium being set out there. So obviously when Mr. Richards come on the mic, we will be quiet and you will hear the winners of the Victor and the Victrix trophies, but also they will announce the house winner for today. But an excellent showcase of athletics this afternoon. All the pupils have done themselves proud. So it's been a great afternoon. Again, sorry you couldn't be here to watch it with us, but I hope you've enjoyed watching it at home.
You can see some of the gappers, Mr. Richards and Mr. O'Connor, over in the tent where they add up all the maths and also write the certificates.
Mr. Richards with a very important document, striding over to the Year 7 pupils, and we will go live to Mr. Richards on the track.
Okay, boys and girls, and to all the family and friends watching at home, I hope you've had a great day, and I hope you've also enjoyed watching it at home. I just want to say a few thank yous. This is our final one. We've had 4 sports days now, and the biggest thank you at the end now for all of the staff, all the teachers around here, the support staff, Sass walking back over, even Mr. Myers Allen and his dog. Thank you for everything. So thank you to everyone. Also, our commentary team today, Mr. Carter and Daisy White over there. I'm sure you've done a cracking job. to all of our year 8s who helped out today. Thank you very much. Some of them have gone actually now, but some still here. Thank you very much, everybody. And to our CheersMate production crew, everyone over there on the tower, thank you so much for all of the sports days you've been a part of. Finally, I want to say a huge well done to all of the children. I said in the Year 8 Sports Day that this end of year is a real testament to all of your hard work through the lockdown, working hard at home, all of the different training we got you to do, all of your own training efforts and everything that you've been doing. So really huge well done, and a round of applause for yourselves, please. Now, as for the results, I will be presenting the Year 7 third, second and first, boys and girls. And this is the accumulation of the points from your field events and your track events. I will not be announcing the senior victor and victrix, as that combines with the Year 8, and you'll find that out on prize giving at the same time as the Year 8s. We will also have the results for the Year 7 Sports Day, so you'll know which house came out on top, but that will then again be combined with all the other year groups and announced on Friday prize giving. So, the under 12 girls in third place, Isabel Hanna. In second place, Emmy Davis. And with just one extra point, in first place, Amelia Crocker. Well done, girls. On to the boys. Again, really competitive. But in third place, Jimmy Chen. In second place, Seb Dearsley. And in first place, I'm sure this is no surprise, Anakin Liang. Well done, boys. Now, the house totals for the Year 7s, as I said, will be combined with all the other year groups, but the winning house can come up and receive the Sports Day trophy. This was the closest one we've had so far. With 170 points, in fourth place was the Normans. In third place, with 200 points, the Vikings. Now, second place had 203 points, so just 3 ahead of the Vikings, and first place has 204 points. So 1 single point between all of you today. Every single race is contributed towards this. The winners with 204 points are the Saxons.
Okay, just the final 2 thank yous. I just want to say a huge well done to all of you, the Year 7 pupils, for a fantastic afternoon, kept the pace going and did really well. So a big round of applause for the Year 7s. And a final thank you to Mr. Richards, who has organised 4 sports days when a lot of other prep schools weren't doing this. I think it's just been a fantastic effort. Well done, Mr. Richards.
Okay, congratulations to the Saxons. That concludes this afternoon's athletics. We hope you've enjoyed watching at home. Thank you very much, Daisy, for your commentary this afternoon.
Thank you very much, Mr. Carter, for doing the commentary with me.
And we will see you soon. Have a good afternoon. Bye.
Goodbye.
What drama we have here! Allowed to play on, puts a shot away, it's just another super goal!
I cannot believe what I have just seen.
Welcome back, everybody, pitchside. England have won this one 22 points to 6.
Electric out the blocks.
Have completed the greatest of comebacks.